Today we're discussing the tragic and heartbreaking case of Sarah Everard. This case occurred not too long ago. It occurred during the pandemic in 2021. And if you have not heard of this case, brace yourself because the ending will shock you. Viewer discretion is advised. Sarah Everard was born on June 14, 1987 in Surrey, United Kingdom, to Jeremy and Sue Everard. She was the youngest of three siblings. She pursued a degree in human geography from the Durham University in the UK. And in 2021, she had just recently started a job as a marketing executive for a digital media firm, and she really enjoyed her job. Now, on the fateful night of March 3rd, 2021, Sarah was hanging out with a friend all day, and around 9 o'clock, she decided to leave her friend's home. The friend's home was located close to Clapham Junction, which is just west of Clapham Commons in the UK. And the walk that she had was going to take her about 50 minutes to complete. It was about 2.5 miles from her home, and walking it takes a little bit longer. But little did anybody know, Sarah would not make it home. At around 9:30 p.m., she was walking up the street when she was stopped by 48-year-old off-duty Metropolitan Cop Wayne Cousins. And at this point in time, he readily identified himself as a police officer even though he was off-duty. Wayne Cousins was born December 20th, 1972, and not much is known about his childhood, but he was described by friends and other people that associated with him as being socially awkward or very weird. Other officers that he worked with even referred to him as the Grapist because of his behavior and the way that he acted. And he was not a stranger to crime because he was caught on several occasions for indecent exposure charges. All in all, he was a creepy motherfucker. It is known that he was married with 2 kids, but not much is known about his family life or his personal life, which I really hate because I would have loved to dive into his childhood a little bit to kind of see if anything happened and lead him to do the things that he did. Anywho, it is thought that Cousins put very deep thought and contemplation into this kidnapping and murder. So Wayne Cousins will act like he was arresting Sarah for violating the COVID lockdown guidelines at the time. So he would handcuff her, put her in a car, and drive her to Dover in the UK, which is about an hour and 57 minutes, a little less than 2 hours. He would drive her to these abandoned woods and he would proceed to grape her and strangle her with his police belt. The next day it said that he went to go get gas that he used to burn her body. And it is reported that a couple of days later, he even took his wife and his kids back to the same woods where he committed those heinous acts against Sarah. Like, sir, you're setting yourself up for failure. On March 10th, so 7 days after her murder, Sarah Everard's body was found on the property of Wayne Cousins. Let's thank God for a second that he was at least a fool and he buried her body on his property because her body was easily found. He went on to lie and come up with this whole story to say that he was being coerced by this Eastern European gang to deliver a girl after he had underpaid a night worker. Boy, if you don't nobody believe that, okay? He came up with so many lies and so much crazy stuff in the interview that it's just, if you watch the interview that they did with him, it's just, it will piss you off. Anywho, after finding the body, he was arrested straight away and charged with the murder and kidnapping of Sarah Everard. He was found guilty and sentenced to a whole life order or life without parole. Sarah did everything right. She wore bright colors to make sure that she could be easily identified. She made a phone call while she was walking home. Some reports say she called her boyfriend. Some reports say she called her roommate. Either way, she made a phone call. She was on the phone while she was walking. And she decided to walk in well-lit areas. She did everything she was supposed to do. Everything society tells her she's supposed to do to stay safe, she did it. And tragedy still unfolded. Obviously, Sarah's family was devastated and they were heartbroken to hear about the death of Sarah Everard and to hear how things happened. Because it's reported that when she got stopped by Cousins, she was about 20 minutes away from home. Sarah is truly missed by her family, and she was described as someone who is very caring, someone who is very sweet, very kind, and never had a bad word to say about anybody. Rest in peace, Sarah.